still have kids attacking me in Toys R Us. I can't go in the sword section. My wife, when I'm walking with my kid, I'm going to see the sword section. No, that's the sword. That kid's attacking my shins. I just finished doing a film called Lady Jane with Helena Bonham Carter, and I think Rob had seen that. And I was filming a movie in Berlin at the time, and he and Andy Scheinman, the producer, flew out to Berlin, and they told me they were making this picture. And I knew what the picture was. I'd read the book as a kid. And I knew who Rob was because I'd seen Spinal Tap. Is that a great movie? Yeah!
What was it like working with somebody like a Rob Reiner?
It was nice because Rob is a really fun guy. And as you may or may not know, he's a really fun guy. And he keeps it very light on the set. And he invited his two best friends to be in the picture, Billy Crystal and Chris Guest. And I thought, at first I thought, wow, okay, so he's casting his best friends in the movie. I wonder what that's going to be like. They're so perfect in this role, don't you think? Yeah! The casting was incredible, just across the board, from Carol to Andre, obviously. I remember Rob saying, when they told me we had to cast a giant, it was really only one person who could play the role. And he met Andre in a bar in Paris, and he handed him, I think, a page of dialogue to read, just to hear him say it. And Andre read the lines, and kept calling him Boss. That was his name. The whole picture he never called Rob by his name. He always called him Boss. Boss. He was the sweetest guy, Andre. The sweetest guy. And after he finished reading them, Rob went, "Well, that's great. We'd love to have you come join us. It's it's going to be a couple of months shooting in the UK." And Andre went, "A couple of months? What do you mean?" He thought that one page of dialogue was all he would have to do. So Rob had to explain to him, "No, Andre, you're in the whole movie." Yeah, it's just nothing but fun memories.
We want to go into every one of those memories.
Tell us.
We want to know all the great backstories. So, like the Andre the Giant story is such a great story. I actually never heard that before. Has anybody heard that before?
No.
Well, tell us more.
Andre grew up in a little village.
Let me tell you about Andre's life.
Andre grew up in a little village in France, and he was so tall, even when he was about age 6, I think he was already about 6 foot, which is crazy. 7, when he was about 7, almost 6 foot. And he couldn't fit in the bus, the kids' bus, taking all the other kids to school. So the only person who had a convertible in his village was a playwright called Samuel Beckett. If you don't know who he is, Google him tonight. He's like a famous playwright. And he wrote plays like Waiting for Godot. So when he told me that, I was like, wow, maybe he came up with a play Waiting for Andre. It hasn't been discovered yet.
Well, how long did you take in learning how to fence?
Okay, so the fencing started about a month before the shoot started.
Had you fenced before?
No, never. I mean, I was terrified, actually. I never held a sword before. And then they told me I have to be left-handed, and I would say, what? I'm not even right-handed. But we had terrific trainers, 2 guys who sadly are no longer with us, Bob Anderson and a guy called Peter Diamond. And Bob trained Mandy, and Peter trained me, and then when we got proficient enough, then we'd swap over. By the time we were ready to shoot it, we showed it to Rob, and we were pretty fast, Mandy and I. So we went to the set, and showed it to him, and it was, we did the whole thing, left, up, this, that, right? And Rob went, "That's great, but it's over too quickly. Go back and make it longer." So we had to go back and come up with a longer fight. And so we looked at every single movie that had sword fighting in it. And I said, let's look at the longest fight there is, which I think is in Scaramouche. I think it's 12 minutes long. do it, Ranger. And I said, let's beat that. Let's go to 13. Which was a challenge. And I said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So we did. We wanted to beat the record for having the longest sword fight. And I hope he isn't, but I don't know.
David would actually take you to shoot that.
It was a couple of days. I think it was about 3 or 4 days. Because we had to bring in it was an acrobat who had to do that. That was actually me, obviously. I was fit, but not that fit.
What about the horseback ride?
Yeah, I think I only rode a horse at the end, I think. So, and I'm not even sure that was me. I was just watching, and I haven't seen it since the premiere in '87, so I was fan of it.
I just have to ask, why haven't you seen it since 1987?
I don't need to, I was in it.
What was it like working with Rob Reiner?
Rob, like I said, a real sweetheart, really fun, directed with great panache. He's like a big kid, you know. When he walks on the set, you fully believe that he's in the moment. And when during rehearsals, he's just right there with you. He's believing it. And so he has this wonderful quality about him that he makes everyone around him want to do their very best.
How many takes did he do? I mean, was it a lot?
No, really. I mean, occasionally he'd give you line readings. Like I remember the first time I had to say summer home about the swan. I put in a line, I said something like, build a summer home in there or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I remember him going, cut. I said, what? He goes, summer home. I went, what? Summer home. Okay. And rolling, okay, action. You build a summer home in there. Cut. What? He goes, summer home. Summer home. I remember, I think I did like 10 takes. In the end, he went, that's good enough.
I've always thought that the chemistry between you and Robin Wright was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
How long had you guys known each other prior to filming?
I met her the first day of costume fitting. And, she was so funny. Her first day, by the way, was having to be burned in the fire escape, which I thought was a testament to how cool she was, because the first day he came up to her and went, okay, so then in this scene, this is when you're going to walk over and the fire will come up here, and burn your dress right there. But don't stand there too long, but if you do, this is Mick, he's got the fire hose right there. And she didn't even blink, she was like, oh, okay, fine.
The wrestling scene with Andre the Giant, what was that like for you?
Andre, God bless him. Andre, two things about wrestling with Andre. First of all, Andre came from the school that wrestling was real. And never once ever, you couldn't say to him, hey, so how did you rehearse that fight with Hulk Hogan? He'd be like, what do you mean to rehearse? Sorry, I meant that fight with Hulk. It was incredible. People would like backtrack asking him, But unfortunately for him, even though he rehearsed these fights with these other wrestlers, a lot of them took advantage of him. People would actually jump on his back in the ring. So he got terrible back problems, not just from that, but also from carrying the weight around, just being as big as he was. So he was in a lot of pain. So they built a little platform behind his back. So when I throttled him, which literally I could barely even reach him, I had to be very ginger and very delicate with him because he had terrible back problems. So, he was just the sweetest guy. I remember he had a lot of steam coming off the top of his head. It was very hot that particular summer. That was kind of, he would look at you and laugh. He knew, he'd look at you and laugh.
I've heard that his ability to drink was legendary. I was wondering if he took you out for any rough nights after filming.
Yes, I went on a couple of interesting nights with Andre. Andre, because of his back problems, had to sometimes self-medicate to cope with the pain. And of course, he couldn't, a normal size, like, pint glass for us was like a shot glass to him, So So he would order a pitcher of whatever it was he was drinking. And he'd drink out of the pitcher. I mean, it was like he was the goon squad. The brute squad, the brute squad. But I remember I went out with him, and it was incredible. I mean, every bar he went into, we did a couple of bars in New York. Every bar he walked into, they all knew him, because he'd come in through the door like this. He had to bend all the way down and get through the door. And he'd stand up in the bar and go, "Hey, Andre!" And the drinks were always on the house, of course. This third bar we went into, I was really starting to pace myself. I realized, oh my God, I'm drinking with Andre the Giant. He's drinking a pitcher and he keeps saying to me, more, come on, more. And I realized if I don't pace myself, I'm literally going to pass out. So I just kept ordering little tiny glasses of wine. You drink like boy. And I looked over at the bar and I saw this guy who I recognized at the bar. I went over to Andre, I said, "Andre, I think that guy at the bar, I think he was at the other bar with us. I think he may be following us. He's staring at us. Is this guy following us? Or is it me?" He goes, "No, he's following us." I go, "What do you mean?" Turns out that poor Andre had had one too many a few years back and fallen on a patron while waiting for a cab. And after that, NYPD have someone off duty just follow Andre and to make sure he never fell. No matter
Any stories to share about filming The Bag of Wits with Wallace?
Danny DeVito was offered the part and turned it down. So Wally thought that he was the second choice, and it really it's hard for an actor if you hear that you got a part after somebody else turned it down. It's kind of hard. You're like, oh, okay, I'm the second choice. Okay. And for him, it weighed on him heavily. So every time he did a take, he just thought, and Rob's not a guy who would come up and make a big deal like, "Oh, that was great." He would just say, "Great, moving on." He would just be like that. There's no, got it, we got it, let's go. So he thought that Rob didn't like his performance, because Rob was just like, "Great, okay, moving on." He'd go, "Oh no, that's it, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine." I kept saying to him, Wally Shawn, I mean, you're not gonna be fine, what are you talking about? He goes, no, I'm gonna be fine.
Do you have a good Mandy Naked story?
He was wonderful, he was really great, and he would regale us with these songs between takes, and his incredible scene play, which I had no idea about, but
in your day-to-day life with your wife, has it ever come up where she's been like, "Hey, hon, can you help me bring in the groceries?" and you've said, "As you wish"?
Yeah, sure. I've never said that. I do believe I will never say that.
There's lots of comedy in this. Did you have more of, like, the physical comedy more, or did you like the repartee talking to...
I love both. I love the witty repartee, and I like the physical comedy too. I came up with the whole thing of being half dead, that whole bit. That was me. And when I showed it to Rob was like, "That's great, we'll do that." Which was hard on poor Andre, because he had to lug me around while I was hanging off it.
Good Christopher Guest story?
Christopher Guest had a horse that had buck teeth. We didn't find out until they showed us the pictures. They came and took stills on the set of all of us. They would put us. They wanted Mandy and I up on the sword fighting, and they wanted him on his horse. And when they came on the set to show us the photographs, Chris went, "Oh, great, like that." And we said, "What is it?" He goes, "Look at my horse." And sure enough, his horse has the most ridiculous, ludicrous buck teeth. And we cracked up over it.
Tell us a story about the ROUSs.
Okay, do you know this story?
No.
Okay. Okay, so we hired some little fellas to be in the God bless them. That was very unpleasant for them to be in these things. They had to be sewn in, and and then they would, when they got too hot, they would stick a long straw down the snout and they'd give them water, and it was tough. And then, or if it was too much, they would cut them open and let them stand around. And you see these half rodent, half very bizarre. Anyway, one of them was this poor fellow named Danny, and he had a special car to drive that I think instead of all the steering being in his hand, he had like a piece of wood taped to his foot so he could reach the accelerator and the brake. Which, and you know, for little guys, you know, in England that's going to be interesting anyway, with stick shift anyway. So there he was. He'd gone out drinking the night before, and he tied a few on, and he he ended up speeding and got pulled over by a policeman. And the cop came up to the window, knocked on the window, and he went up and he goes, "Yes, officer, what?" He goes, "Do you know how fast you were going?" "No." "You were going at least 60 in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. I need you to step out of the vehicle, please, son." So he gets out with his wooden cloth tied to his foot, and he stumbles and falls, and the policeman goes, "Have you been drinking tonight, son?" And he goes, "Well, what of it? Just a bit." They breathalyzed him, and sure enough, he was, God bless him, I think he's like a little guy. I mean, he's going to be over, you know, probably one drink it was over, you know. Anyway, as they tried to arrest him, he goes, no, you don't understand. I'm playing a rat in a film. I need to be at work tomorrow morning. You can't arrest me. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. Get in the back of the van, rat. Go on, in the back of the van.